I realized very quickly that the only way for us to really speed up the digital innovation is to get more focus. The core business, our old internal combustion engine, has to focus on restructuring and being profitable as it shrinks. Our new business have to have freedom to innovate without any speed issues.
Jim Farley just broke his silence and he shocked everyone. You know how Ford has always been putting electric motors on every line up like they did on the F-150 lighting? Well, now things have changed. He said big trucks and EVs don't fit together. But why exactly? And what does this mean for Ford and the industry? Is this the end of an era? In a recent announcement, Ford's CEO Jim Farley just dropped some serious truth bombs about the company's future, and it's not all smooth sailing. He's not sugarcoating anything when it comes to the challenges Ford's facing, especially in the electric vehicle market. Remember when EVs were the golden ticket to the future? Well, it turns out the road to electrification is bumpier than expected. Ford's hitting some major potholes, and Farley's not shy about admitting it. We're talking obstacles so big they could potentially run the company off the road if they're not careful. What did they do about it? For starters, they've had to slam the brakes on some seriously cool projects. Remember that sleek electric 3-row SUV they were hyping up? Yeah, that's been tossed to the trash can. It's like Ford built this awesome sandcastle of an idea, only to have the tide of financial reality wash it away. And remember the T3, that beastly electric truck Ford was revving up for release? Well, it's just been shoved to the back of the garage until 2027. That's a 4-year delay, folks. It's like Ford's EV timeline just got stuck in the mud, and they're spinning their wheels trying to get out. Now, you might be thinking, geez, how bad could Ford's bank account be looking to cause all this chaos? Well, my friend, that's the million-dollar question, or should I say billion-dollar. But before we get into that, subscribe and hit that bell icon so you don't miss out our videos. Financial chaos. Ford's electric vehicle division, known as Model E, is in a bit of a financial mess right now, and it's causing some serious worries about what lies ahead for the company in the EV market. If you're curious about where this legendary automaker is headed, it's vital to understand these challenges. Let's kick off with a look at the numbers. In the first quarter of 2024, Ford suffered a jaw-dropping loss of $1,300 million in the Model E segment. To put that into perspective, that's about $132,000 lost for every 10,000 electric cars sold. This isn't just some occasional hiccup, it shows a significant leap in losses compared to earlier quarters. It's clear that the electric vehicle market is facing some tough times. If we zoom out and consider all of 2023, things look even worse. Model E posted losses totaling $4,700 million before interest and taxes, which breaks down to an average loss of around $40,525 for each of the 116,000 electric vehicles sold. Now, let's talk about revenue. It's taken a dramatic dive, dropping by a shocking 84% in the first quarter of 2024 to about $100 million. This sharp decline stems from industry-wide price cuts and a noticeable drop in consumer interest in fully electric vehicles. With mounting competition and economic pressures pinching wallets, it seems like enthusiasm for Ford's electric lineup is waning. On top of that, sales volume is taking a hit, down by 20% compared to last year. This dip suggests that folks are becoming more selective about their EV options, favoring competitors who might offer better features or value. Of course, the current economic climate is making consumers more cautious about their spending. But let's not forget, Ford is not alone in this struggle. The entire EV sector is dealing with similar challenges as competition heats up. Companies like General Motors and Stellantis are making significant progress in their electric vehicle endeavors, with GM even predicting profitability in North America by mid-2024. This competitive pressure is a wake-up call for Ford, emphasizing the urgent need for innovation and quick adaptation. So what's Ford doing about all this? Well, they're taking a hard look at their strategy. The company is cutting back on investments in bigger electric vehicles. And despite these obstacles, CEO Jim Farley is keeping the faith. He believes that enhancing their execution and adapting to what the market really wants are crucial for getting back on track financially. The next generation of EVs is expected to be more affordable and better matched to consumer preferences. And to understand their plan, you need to know their challenge. Growing competition. We're talking over 143 brand new EV models headed to North America, and they're not messing around. From sleek 2-row SUVs to spacious 3-row family haulers, these newcomers are ready to give Ford's Mustang Mach-E and other electric offerings a serious run for their money. And the competition isn't just heating up here at home. Oh no, the global players are making some major moves too. Companies like China's BYD are really shaking things up with their efficient production and killer pricing strategies. It's a game changer, and Ford's CEO Jim Farley knows it. He straight up admitted that US automakers, including Ford, need to find ways to drastically cut their costs if they want any chance of keeping up. But the pressure doesn't stop there, my friends. Let's talk pricing. You'd think all those juicy government EV incentives would make these battery-powered rides more affordable, right? Wrong. Despite the subsidies, the average price of electric vehicles has actually gone up by a staggering $5,000 to $10,000 compared to good old gas-powered cars. That's a tough pill for consumers to swallow when they're trying to justify the switch. Ford's chief financial officer John Lawler has made it clear that this ruthless pricing pressure, combined with tight profit margins, is a big reason why the Blue Oval has had to make some tough calls. They've shoved aside their plans for a beefy all-electric SUV and delayed the launch of their upcoming electric pickup. Talk about being caught between a rock and a hard place. And let's not forget about that ferocious price war raging in the EV space, pitting the likes of Tesla's Cybertruck against the Chinese automakers. The competitive landscape is becoming a real minefield for companies like Ford to navigate. I mean, how do you even begin to compete with those kinds of price-slashing tactics? How are they going to find a way to not just stay in the electric race, but actually pull ahead of the pack? So, what's going to happen? Let's take a moment to revisit the events that happened in the automotive world, specifically around October 2022. This was when the price war that shook the industry really began. Tesla found itself grappling with a significant decline in sales as the economic tide started to be tough. Faced with this challenge, the company had to devise a fresh strategy to reignite demand for its electric models. So what did they do? They made some bold moves by slashing prices. These reductions weren't just small tweaks, but rather substantial cuts, reaching up to $1,932 on popular models like the Model Y. This was not only a brave choice, but also a necessary action, especially as local competitors started to gain momentum and really step up their game. Unsurprisingly, this lively shift in Tesla's pricing strategy created quite the ripple effect throughout the marketplace, causing other automakers to pause and rethink their own pricing approaches if they didn't want to be overshadowed. Chinese electric vehicle manufacturers, most notably BYD and Li Auto, were quick to react to Tesla's bold pricing strategy. Without wasting any precious time, these companies jumped right on the bandwagon and initiated their own price cuts. For instance, BYD decided to dramatically lower prices on nearly all of its models by a striking 5 to 20% starting in February 2023. When you consider the competitive landscape in China, which boasts more than 100 electric vehicle manufacturers, it's clear that the market has become quite saturated. Many of these companies are wrestling with overproduction issues and dwindling profit margins. As they fight for a bigger piece of the pie, both within China and in global markets, these manufacturers are heavily relying on aggressive pricing tactics to grab consumer attention and keep their brands top of mind. But let's not stop there. The story is even bigger than just what's happening in China. As these Chinese electric vehicle brands began to pivot towards international territories, the price war quickly escalated beyond their borders. We're now observing this fierce competition push into regions like Southeast Asia and Europe. The allure of higher profit margins overseas has led these companies to offer significant discounts, creating a tempting option for customers who find themselves overwhelmed by the plethora of choices available in today's fiercely competitive market. The stakes have never been higher, and reports indicate that by early 2024, over 30 major car manufacturers had already announced even further price adjustments. Yes, that's correct. This heated race to capture buyers' attention is intensifying, raising the competition level to unprecedented heights. So what's Ford's response? In the face of a fiercely competitive market, Ford is making waves with a daring move. They're slashing prices across their entire electric vehicle lineup. We're talking serious reductions of up to a staggering $15,000 on popular models, including the Mustang Mach-E and the E-Transit van. These cuts are crucial if Ford wants to reel in consumers. With competition booming all around, they need a tactic that resonates and grabs attention. But there's a catch. While these price reductions might lead to a quick sales boost, they also tighten profit margins, putting Ford's overall profitability at risk in the long run. run. Now, let's be clear, the leadership at Ford isn't turning a blind eye to the realities of this price war. They understand that to stay competitive, they need to rethink their long-term strategy in the electric vehicle market. CEO Jim Farley has made it clear that American automakers need to significantly reduce production costs and ramp up efficiency if they wish to keep pace with tough competitors like those from China and the ever-disruptive Tesla. It's a tall order to fill, but there's no denying that adapting is crucial. Failure to do so could lead to some serious consequences. This brings us to a significant pivot in Ford's investment strategy. In light of the financial stresses induced by the price war and a noticeable dip in demand for fully electric vehicles, the company is curtailing its capital investments in electric vehicles. They're adjusting their commitment from 40% down to 30%. This move is not just a minor adjustment, it represents a more cautious strategy in response to the current market climate. Rather than pouring funds into every electric venture that comes their way, Ford is clearly focused on recalibrating their approach. They aim to prioritize investments that promise better returns while skillfully navigating these challenging waters. And let's talk about Ford's choice to abandon all-electric models entirely. This isn't just a casual tweak, it reflects a sober recognition that the appetite for fully electric vehicles isn't expanding in the US as quickly as many had hoped. Rather than fixating solely on electric power, Ford is pivoting towards crafting hybrid versions of their SUVs. Why is this shift happening? Because hybrids offer an awesome blend of both worlds, giving drivers an extended range by harnessing the power of electric motors paired with traditional gasoline engines. It's really about offering consumers more choices and addressing their needs head on. Now, prepare yourself for the financial fallout that comes along with these cancellations. It's a bit daunting, as the cancellation of the electric SUV project will lead to some heavy financial implications for Ford. We're looking at an estimated $400 million in write-downs for the manufacturing assets tied to this now shelved model. That's quite a hefty sum to absorb. Overall, the costs associated with realigning their production plans could skyrocket to more than $1.5 billion. This strategic shift underscores how serious Ford is about adapting to the ever-changing landscape of consumer preferences, as well as market dynamics in today's fast-paced automotive environment. Speaking of consumer preferences, they've become the focal point of Ford's current strategy. There's been a noticeable shift in what buyers are seeking, and it's clearly steering the company's direction. A lot of consumers are showing hesitation toward fully electric vehicles, primarily because of concerns about costs and range anxiety. This makes hybrid models significantly more attractive, especially for families who aren't quite ready to dive into full electrification. It's all about practicality in today's car market. Let's also take a moment to highlight the skyrocketing interest in hybrid vehicles. The numbers speak for themselves. Hybrid sales have surged over 35% in the first half of 2024 compared to the same period last year. This is a strong indicator that consumers are hungry for options that combine the benefits of both electric and gasoline power. This rising trend is undoubtedly prompting Ford to adjust its offerings to ensure they satisfy the evolving market demands. What does this mean in the long term? This shift towards hybrids isn't just a casual move. It could be a game changer for the company. Why? Well, let's dissect it together. Because consumers these days are becoming increasingly budget conscious and concerned about range anxiety. Many people are searching for that sweet spot where they can enjoy the benefits of electrification without the full commitment of going all electric. By spotlighting hybrid models, Ford has the chance to cast a wider net, which means attracting a broader audience that craves the perfect blend of efficiency and practicality. This strategic pivot could drive up sales figures and profitability in the short term, particularly because hybrids often come with a more appealing price point and an enhanced range compared to their fully electric counterparts. Now let's focus on financial recovery. If Ford nails down this hybrid-focused strategy, they could begin the process of bouncing back from some massive financial losses. Just think about it. Ford's electric vehicle division took a staggering hit of $4.7 billion in 2023 alone. That's a tough pill to swallow. By trimming its capital expenditures on fully electric vehicles from 40% to 30%, Ford can allocate its resources in a way that has a meaningful impact on improving overall financial health. Plus, as they streamline efforts in battery procurement and boost manufacturing efficiencies, there's a potential for even greater improvements to Ford's bottom line. It's really about being clever with investments and maximizing every dollar spent. But here is the thing, although they're toning down their short-term ambitions for fully electric models, Ford isn't throwing in the towel just yet. They still have plans to develop their electric vehicle lineup, but at a slower, more measured pace. Excitingly, they're gearing up to introduce an electric commercial van in 2025 2026, alongside a groundbreaking electric truck expected in 2027. It's clear that Ford hasn't lost faith in the value of electrification. However, the key here is that they're opting for a cautious approach, leveraging advancements in battery technology and production processes. This could ultimately pave the way for creating more competitive and affordable electric models in the future. But let's face it, there's a lot at stake here. If Ford doesn't keep its finger on the pulse of market dynamics, they could encounter some serious risks that could lead to dramatic consequences if the company fails to adapt quickly enough. Allow me to break it down for you. First up, we have the loss of competitive edge. If Ford doesn't elevate its game in response to the shifts in the electric vehicle market, it runs the risk of falling behind competitors who are quicker and more agile in addressing consumer demands and embracing technological advancements. With aggressive pricing strategies already in play from both Tesla and emerging Chinese manufacturers, Ford's market position is under real threat. If they don't innovate effectively, they might not just lose market share, they could lose their entire footing within this competitive landscape. Next, financial instability is a serious concern. If Ford continues to lose money in the electric vehicle sector without a solid plan to reach profitability, it could spell disaster for their financial future. The company has already seen substantial write-downs related to canceled projects, and guess what? If they can't establish a sustainable business model for their electric vehicle lineup soon, those losses might escalate, leading to even more financial strain. Just imagine a scenario where consumer interest in hybrids falls short of expectations, or the economy takes a downturn could leave Ford in a precarious financial predicament that's really challenging to recover from. Now, let's talk reputation damage. If Ford fails to deliver on its ambitious electric vehicle promises or continues to face quality issues, its reputation as a leader in automotive innovation could take a serious hit. CEO Jim Farley has been upfront about past quality concerns, and any further missteps could undermine consumer trust and loyalty, especially as consumers become increasingly discerning about their vehicle choices in such a rapidly evolving market. Maintaining a strong brand reputation will be absolutely crucial for Ford's long-term success. Finally, we can't ignore the risk of missing out on innovation opportunities. By primarily directing its focus on hybrids while sidelining fully electric vehicles, Ford could be closing the door on groundbreaking innovations that are shaping the future of transportation. As global trends veer closer toward electrification, being slow to adapt might hinder Ford's ability to seize emerging technologies and recognize market shifts. Moreover, if they skimp on investments in research and development for electric vehicle technologies, they could miss critical partnerships or advancements while competitors race ahead. It's an exciting but challenging landscape, and Ford must navigate it carefully to stay in the game. So what did Ford do? Skunk Works. Ford's Skunk Works initiative isn't just a catchy moniker, it's a crucial element of the automaker's strategy to revolutionize the electric vehicle market. As the automotive scene evolves at a staggering pace, Ford understands it must innovate and produce electric vehicles that are affordable and responsive to shifting consumer needs. So let's take a deeper dive into this groundbreaking initiative and explore what the future might hold. First off, let's unpack the purpose and organization of the Skunk Works team. This isn't your run-of-the-mill corporate team working on assembly lines. Instead, the Skunk Works unit is crafted for creativity and innovation. It operates with an independence that allows it to break free from typical corporate constraints. Think of it as having that exciting startup vibe, but with the robust support of one of the largest automakers in the world. This dynamic environment is just what they need to ignite creativity and foster experimentation, letting new ideas thrive without the suffocating weight of conventional corporate bureaucracy. CEO Jim Farley has emphasized that this team is made up of some of the best electric vehicle engineers in the world, pulling talent from top companies like Tesla, Rivian, and Lucid, as well as from cutting-edge industries like electric vertical takeoff and landing. So where's all this innovation taking place? Ford has set up a state-of-the-art advanced electric vehicle development center located right in Long Beach, California. This location is more than just another office. It holds historical significance for Ford, harkening back to the days of the legendary Model A nearly a century ago. Here at the Skunk Works Center, the team will be hard at work developing a next-generation platform specifically designed to deliver low-cost electric vehicles that don't compromise on performance or quality. You see, at the core of the Skunk Works project lies the mission to create a groundbreaking generation of small, affordable electric vehicles that can compete fiercely in the market, especially against the flood of lower-priced options, particularly those coming from Chinese manufacturers. Farley has hinted at some thrilling innovations on the horizon, including vehicles that will feature different battery chemistries and smaller batteries. The aim is to keep costs manageable while maximizing value for consumers, which is essential in this competitive landscape. And the Skunk Works team is also employing a systems integration approach to vehicle development. What does that entail, you might ask? Imagine an orchestra where every section, from design and engineering to supply chain and manufacturing, is working together in perfect harmony to rethink how vehicles are put together. This innovative methodology simplifies the development process, which leads to significant cost reductions. It's a real game changer for Ford, enabling them to craft competitive electric vehicles that don't compromise on quality or performance. There's so much happening, all aimed at making a substantial impact in the electric vehicle sector. First on the chopping block is a vehicle that has everyone talking, a mid-sized electric pickup truck. Make sure you save the date. 2027 is when this beauty is set to hit the market, and it's being built on a fresh platform crafted by Ford's innovative Skunk Works team. But that's not all. Following closely behind is an all-new commercial van, which is slated to roll out from Ford's Ohio assembly plant as soon as 2026. It's a packed lineup that promises to shake things up significantly. Now, let's dive deeper into the flexible platform design Ford is rolling out. This approach isn't a cookie-cutter solution. This new platform is crafted to be versatile, meaning it can support various types of vehicles. This flexibility is essential as Ford navigates the intricate landscape of different market segments. Just picture it. They can cater to individual consumers searching for personal rides, while also meeting the needs of businesses that require reliable commercial vehicles. Ford is betting on this adaptability to stay relevant in a fiercely competitive automotive market. Speaking of competition, let's explore how this initiative strategically aligns with current market trends. The formation of the Skunk Works team is a direct response to the rapidly evolving automotive landscape, packed with increasing competition and shifting consumer preferences. By honing in on the development of more affordable models, Ford is aiming to capture a bigger piece of the expanding electric vehicle pie. This isn't just about keeping pace. It's about addressing the cost concerns that have captured the attention of many potential buyers. As consumers become more financially conscious, offering models that deliver genuine value without sacrificing quality is paramount. Looking toward the long term, it's apparent that Ford is all in on pushing forward with innovations in electrification. However, they're also acutely aware of the need for immediate financial viability. It's a delicate balancing act. By developing lower-cost electric vehicles that still check all the boxes for desirability, Ford is positioning itself to harmonize profitability with customer satisfaction. This forward-thinking approach signals a deep understanding that to truly thrive in today's competitive market, automakers must not only innovate, but also ensure their offerings appeal widely to a diverse customer base. But what's your thoughts on this? Let's know in the comments. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next video.